All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the August 10, 2022 meeting of the Audubon Conservation Commission. We are operating this meeting under a hybrid format pursuant to the Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by telephone by dialing 408-650-3123 and using access code 942-845-549. Or you can join by computer at global.gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. So all supporting materials for tonight's hearings and other matters have been provided to the commissioners and are available to the town's website, along with our agenda for this evening's meeting, and the public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. My name is Michael Garland. I'm chairman of the commission. Before we begin, I'd like to confirm attendance by other members and persons participating. So when I call your name, please answer in the affirmative. Tom Fallon?
Here.
Michelle Colross?
Here.
Patrick Cunningham?
Here.
Megan Langley?
Here.
And Catherine Nordberg?
Here.
Excellent. And we also have a town official participating, which, when I call your name, please answer. Caleb Moody.
I'm here.
All right, Caleb, excellent. So before we begin, I have to ask if anyone is recording this meeting. There being no affirmatives, please note this meeting is being recorded by Audubon Cable Television and will be available for viewing at your convenience. And regarding just ground rules, if anyone is participating remotely, please make sure that you state your name and your address before you begin participating. So the first item on our agenda for tonight's public hearing, 7 p.m., Brendan Greeley, a notice of intent for property at 4 Washington Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All right, it's a vote. Is anyone here on behalf of the applicant?
Chris Thomas, BSC Group.
Okay, I think I saw you before. There you are. Hello, Mr. Thomas, how are you?
Yes. Good, thanks. Yeah, we were on at the last Concom meeting, and we received 2 comments on our plans, and we've addressed those on the recent revision.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have that to bring up, or I can share my screen, I guess.
Okay, if you can share your screen, that would be helpful.
Yes.
Did you submit the plan to the commission?
I believe it was submitted by our office.
You know when that was? Because our admin has been out on vacation, so that might explain why we don't have it.
Okay, all right, 1 second. I can share my screen here.
I do have it, I just don't know why it won't allow me to share my screen.
Is this showing up?
Well, we do have a plan on the screen.
No, I think there's an
No?
issue with the screen sharing.
Why don't you just summarize briefly the changes that you made to the plan?
Okay, so there was a catch basin that's, I think right now it was on a sewer line as an existing condition. So we're going to take that catch basin off the sewer line, put in a dry well at the same location with a 6-inch overflow that will go to the existing culvert around the building. And that will discharge in a riprap swale.
Okay,
We've also
go ahead.
added a oil water separator. It'll be from the garage drain to the sewer line. So that'll charge through the oil water separator. And those are the 2 comments that we received, and those revisions are on the current plan.
Do you know when the plan was revised?
I have the date on it. 3rd. And that plan was discussed last night at the planning board for site plan review.
And what's the status
So-
with the planning board?
Sorry?
What was the status of the planning board meeting? Are you closed with them, or are you going to continue it?
We have to continue because there's other comments to address that don't relate to stormwater.
Understood. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the date of the revised plan. Do you have it?
It's August 3rd.
Okay. Caleb, you believe we have it?
No, I don't believe we do.
Okay, we're not showing that we received it.
No.
No. Would you like to close a public hearing on this matter tonight?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Did they submit the commission? Is that?
I believe it,
Go ahead.
sorry, I believe it would have been emailed. I'm guessing it would have been emailed. It was our office that sent it.
Do you have a receipt of that email? Can you tell me when it was emailed? Because we don't have the paper copy, and I think, as I mentioned, our administrative assistant is on a vacation. So if you send it to Keith, then we might not have it.
If it was sent to the commission email, then we would have.
We would have it. So we don't seem to have it. So can you make arrangements, please, to retransmit it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
No. Any comment from the public? There being none, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just want to clarify something. For closing the public hearing, and we have not received the revised plan yet, is this the last opportunity that there would be to make any changes?
Well, by closing the public hearing, we are basically, no, to answer your question, no. We would, by closing public hearing, we're closing discussion or any further revisions. I'm acting on Mr. Thomas's representation. He referred to a revised plan on August 3rd. He indicated that it was sent to the commission. It's possible that we did not get it because our administrative assistant's been on vacation. And he explained or summarized the changes that were made to the plan. Do you have?
I just want to, I'm just trying to clarify that this, we haven't had a chance to look at it, so there's no further opportunity to make any comments once this.
Well, actually, we have. Michelle and I went out probably, what was that, in July? In early July. So we have been to the site, Megan.
No, I just mean the actual submitted plan.
Okay. So I sense that you may be uncomfortable in closing the public hearing until we get the revised plan. Is that correct?
I'm just advising caution perhaps to Mr. Thomas if and the commission that, I don't know, we haven't seen the revised plan. I guess I would feel better if he wants to close it, he wants to close it. I guess I'm just trying to clarify that there's no further opportunity for any revisions to be made once we close the public hearing.
And to answer your question, the answer is you're right. There would be no further opportunity to make revisions.
Right, that we would vote on it as is. You're right.
Right.
Okay, so there was a motion to close the public hearing, and I believe there was a second. Is there any further discussion?
Does he understand that, though? Like, if it's not, so you understand that, though, right? That if this isn't like how you explained it to us when it comes in, we're not going to vote on this until we see it, though, right? Right?
We have 21 days to make a decision, so we don't have to vote on it tonight. And we certainly have the right to, we can reject it if we choose.
Right. So I would say to make Megan a little bit more comfortable, we could wait to vote on it until it comes in.
So, Mr. Thomas, you've heard the comments. Do you want to revise your decision about closing the public hearing? We're going to be meeting in
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I guess if we continue it, it would be on the 24th.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, I guess there's no problem in continuing it then, because, yeah, make sure the board has it in front of them.
Okay, we appreciate that. So, and Caleb, do you have a schedule? 7:10? Okay, so, Mr. Thomas, I believe we would continue the public hearing then to 7:10 on August 24th. Okay?
Okay,
May I have a motion to continue the public hearing in this matter to August 24th at 7:10 PM?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, and with any luck, we'll be able to close this out at the next meeting. Thank you, sir.
great, thank you.
The next matter on our agenda is a 7:05 public hearing, Mirror Company and notice of intent for property at 3 Commerce Drive, lot number 2. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Good evening.
Good evening. Green cards?
Okay. And if you would just identify yourself, please.
Sure. For the record, Travis Brown with Turning Point Engineering, here representing Mirror Company. With me is Tony Belafato of Mirror Company. More than happy to talk about them. Some of you may be familiar with them. They're a utility contractor in the state and the region. They provide services and utility installations for electric utility companies, provide emergency services as well. Looking to build a facility here on Lot 2 of the Auburn Commerce Park. You folks are probably familiar with this property by now.
Very
Done
familiar.
a number of permitting on the site. So this is lot number 2. This is at the end of the cul-de-sac. If you are looking at the subdivision plans, what we're proposing to do on lot 2 is construct a warehouse facility with some office space, some employee parking area, as well as some outdoor storage area. Again, the access is off the cul-de-sac. You may know if you visited the site fairly recently, there is a stream crossing that's installed in that location that provides access to Lot 2. In addition, that continues up over a second crossing that provides emergency access out to what is Lot 1 on the subdivision plan, based on previous discussions with the fire chief and that permitting process. So this up on the screen is the site layout materials plan. So again, that driveway comes into an access point to enter the facility. To the bottom of the page where the building is shaded there, we provide some parking. Access is maintained around the building. They will have some drive-through doors on this building. In addition, there's an area that's fenced off, kind of in the upper left part of the screen there, where they would store materials such as pipe, fittings, copper wire, anything that they may use on a day-to-day basis. So what typically happens with this operation is you would have a crew of about 6 with a foreman. They would come to the site, hook up a trailer or equipment, grab materials, and then they would leave for the day. Not a heavy traffic use by any means. Little amount of space inside for employees. We are showing that proposed office area. Not a lot of employees. Adequate parking. So we did meet with the planning board last night. They had no concerns about the project. They're going to send it out for peer review, typical
What are they gonna use?
Graves Engineering. So we're waiting on that. I believe they're reviewing it at this time. We have received the DEP file number on this project. There were a handful of comments. Not sure if we need to discuss those, or if you're familiar with the DEP file number and comments that they issued.
Well, I think you know our mode of operation. We always like to take a walk.
Sure.
And, you know, it's been at least a few weeks since we've been out there,
Yeah,
so
right.
let's take a look.
Yeah,
So
actually looks great. I was there this morning,
No, it-
looking at things, and
it definitely looks better than it used to. So what about this Saturday? Would you be available? And if not,
I
you know,
would.
be honest.
I would be available this Saturday.
Okay. Shall we say 9 o'clock?
Sure.
All right. So, all right. So we have your permission then to continue the public hearing to August 24th? Okay. And Caleb, would that be 7:15? Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll plan to meet you there at 9. Is there any particular place you'd like to meet?
Probably park in the cul-de-sac
Okay,
at the end of the paved road.
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to August 24th, 7:15 PM?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, that's a vote. So we'll see you on Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you want to see or staked out, or?
No, not particularly. You know, we'll have the plan. We'll just do a walk. We'll walk the site. It's not as big as some of the other lots there,
It
so
is not, no.
we shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, we, I guess I didn't mention, we do maintain the 25-foot no disturb as a policy by the commission.
Very good. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Forgot, I'm not gonna be here on the 24th either.
Figures. What concert are you seeing then?
Actually, I'm gonna do the boat that week going through New York.
Gonna be on a boat.
Yeah, if it doesn't break, we'll see what happens. Get a 50-50 shot, maybe.
Unbelievable.
Maybe
Okay.
60-40.
The next item on our agenda is a 7:10 public hearing. James and Maria Leslie, request for determination of applicability for property at 388 Watchdale Road. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote. Good evening.
Good evening. Jerry Savory from Topper Land Survey. I'm here representing James and Maria Leslie.
Okay.
Here is our mailing. Now, this is a existing house lot that they needed to revise their septic system from failure. So we designed a septic system outside of the 100-foot buffer. We have very little grading within this buffer zone. We have some work proposed for the septic tank off the house, which is within the 100-foot buffer, but it's in the general area of the old septic tank. And that grading also is within the 100-foot buffer. But we have no activity going into the 50-foot buffer itself.
Okay. Is this a
Better
failed
on this
septic
one.
system or a failed cesspool or just a cesspool?
It was a septic system. It was a leach field
Okay.
system.
All right, and is it going to be installed in the same place as the old one?
Roughly, but it's a little bit closer to the road.
Okay. All right.
If you notice according to the plans there, the system was more long within the property.
I see that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and
it's
we're-
more horizontal instead of vertical.
Right,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay. Could we take a look on Saturday?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I can, I can let my client know, and I can be there myself.
Probably around 9:30 or so.
9:30, that's great.
Okay, and you would therefore agree to continue the public hearing?
Yes.
Excellent. And would that be at 7:20?
7:21.
Okay, so is there a motion to continue the public hearing for 388 Rochdale Road to August 24th at 7:20?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. So we'll be out there on Saturday around 9:30, and thanks for coming in.
Oh, no problem, thank you.
The next item on our agenda is the 7:15 public hearing. A notice of intent filed by Logan Huffman for reconstruction and grading of a portion of Washington Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Is anyone here on behalf of the applicant? Hello, Travis.
Again, for the record, Travis Brown with Turning Point Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant, 190 Washington Auburn LLC, for a notice of intent that was filed for road improvements along Route 20 in the vicinity of the subdivision project entrance. As you may be aware, during the subdivision permitting process, we had shown improvements along Route 20. At that phase, didn't know exactly what that would be. Those designs have been progressed by our traffic engineer team at GPI that has provided those to DOT. It's under review. Due to the nature of those improvements in the location, there is a wetland in the vicinity of that subdivision entrance. It's across from what exists as West Tech Drive.
Sorry, thank you.
There's two existing culvert and head walls that discharge from the opposite side of the project on Route 20. There's a stormwater basin at the corner of Route 20 and West Tech Drive, and there's a couple pipes that come out of there and discharge onto the Locust property. So, with the design that GPI has done and adding a right turn lane into the project, a bike lane, and a sidewalk, it became necessary to grade what is now an existing vegetated bank, grade down, and reconstruct those head walls to be taller because that widening pushed that grading out towards the wetland. We don't propose any work within the wetland. Obviously, we're within the 25-foot buffer. There's not really any alternative in this scenario. So what we've done is provide silt fence, erosion control at that wetland line, at the location of those head walls to be reconstructed. Have shown that grading on spec with what DOT is looking for in their designs. With that, we've shown some land clearing. You can go to the right, Caleb, a little bit of the page. So you can see those dark lines and the pipes coming through to the head wall on our side. So from there, we bring our proposed limit of work into the project site of 50 Washington Street, which is on the other side of West Tech here. We've provided some land clearing and some grading in order to provide a landing area, stockpile staging that would need to happen as part of that work for Route 20, those improvements. Vehicle parking, equipment parking, things of that nature. So on that property where we can, we pulled that limit of work outside of the 25-foot as best we can. Only inside of it where we need to be to make that, the Route 20 improvements happen.
So that you're gonna be within 25 foot of the BBW, but you're not encroaching into the BBW itself, is that right?
That is correct.
Has this been submitted to the planning board?
It does not need any planning board approval.
Okay. Well, since we're gonna be there Saturday, I suppose we can look at it then too, right?
Read my mind.
So,
All right, so,
I think I just have to ask, so that black line where it crosses doesn't that cross the 25-foot buffer there?
It does. So coming out of where the head wall is,
Yeah.
over to that area, there's a transition that goes through the 25.
Okay.
We can-
25 out here.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, like I said, we tried to come out where we could,
Okay.
based on the grading. I suppose we could look at that area a little closer, and see if there's anything else we can do, but it's pretty tight through there.
well, since you need a waiver of our condition, not to build within 25 foot, I think we need an alternatives analysis. I don't think it has to be extensive, but I think you have to explain the steps you've taken to analyze alternatives and indicate why there's no other option.
Sure.
Again, I don't think that's going to be much of a reach for you.
Nope.
All right. So 7:25 on August 24th?
Yes.
And you assent to continuing the public hearing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to continue?
Move to continue the 190 Washington Street until 7:25 on August 24th.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we'll see you at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next item on our agenda is a 7:20 public hearing. Herb Chambers Hyundai of Auburn, a request for determination of applicability for 735 Southbridge Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Is anyone here on behalf of Herb Chambers Hyundai?
Hi, how's it going? David Newhall from Crocker Design Group here on behalf of Herb Chambers, Hyundai of Auburn.
Good evening.
How you doing tonight? So the proposal is just to put in a new utility pole and transformer with associated overhead electric from the existing utility pole along Route 12, and then underground electric from the new utility pole to the new transformer within the buffer zone. Down gradient from all work would be a silt socket installed prior to any work taking place. Proposed inlet protection on any catch basins in the area, and all work will be done with machinery on the paved surface in the parking area. So there wouldn't be any machinery on any vegetated areas.
I'm looking,
And
go ahead.
pole
I'm
will
looking
be
at the
placed
diagram,
within.
and it looks like, is the existing utility pole right on the side of the road currently?
Yeah, right on the side of the road, there's an existing pole. Yep.
All right.
Right by the entrance off to the side.
Gotcha. And I'm just curious, what's why are you moving the utility pole?
That existing utility pole will stay. It's not my level of expertise, I guess, for why they needed the second utility pole. That comes from the utility company themselves. I
see.
believe it's Eversource in this. That's
They're
just what they
strongly
require.
suggesting you do this.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And so obviously you'd put in siltation control and erosion control measures between the area of the work and the wetland area, correct?
Yep.
When would you start the project?
I'm not positive exactly when Eversource will get out there. They were trying to push to get out, I would think, fairly soon. I don't have an exact date, but if that's something I need to get you as part of a condition maybe or something like that, we certainly can get in touch with them on their schedule of timeline.
So, Mr. Newhall, I know you've been on, I think, since the beginning of the meeting, and we are inclined, we always like to take a look at
Yep.
sites, and I suspect this one is no exception either. So,
Okay.
do you have any objection to continuing the public hearing to our next meeting on August 24th?
No, there's no objection to continue to the next meeting.
Okay. And that would be at 7:30, Caleb?
Yes.
Okay. And we're making sidewalks on Saturday, so we will stop by. I don't think there's any reason for you to have to be there. I mean,
Okay.
what you're proposing is pretty straightforward, and we'll just take a look at the conditions on the site.
Yeah, and it'll just be Saturday sometime after those first couple site meetings around 10:30 or something around there.
Around there. Yeah, I can't be
Yeah,
precise.
okay.
So you don't
Yeah,
have to,
no,
you don't have to go if you don't want to.
okay. Yeah, and there's no issue on our end with that. I'll just I'll let the manager of the dealership just know that you guys will be there on behalf of this application. So
Okay.
there'll be no issue on our end. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. Is there a motion to continue the public hearing to August 24th at 7:30?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Seems odd the way they designed that.
I don't disagree.
Right? They need to use extra wire.
Okay. Just give me a moment. All right. Perfect. For other business, we have been asked to vote on the approval of a conservation restriction on property located on a portion of property located in Auburn. So apparently this is something that involves both the city of Worcester and the town of Auburn. I don't know if you had a chance to review it. Apparently the property is going to be put into a land trust.
And I'm here if there are any questions. I'm with the Greater Worcester Land Trust.
Oh.
Perfect. Could you
Hi.
identify yourself, please?
Sure.
Thank you for coming.
My name is Colin Novick. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Worcester Land Trust. I'm here representing the Packagug Spring Project, which is located on the Auburn-Worcester line immediately to the east of Packagug Street. It is behind Ellie Way, which is a subdivision in Worcester, which has the lots spill over into Auburn. And what we've managed to do is identify a portion of the original Nipmuc Village on Packagug, and we are seeking to protect a lot which is on the cul-de-sac of Ellie Way, which would create public access and actually get down to the water plane level where the spring would have come out. In order for us to be able to put a conservation restriction on a piece of property, we need the approval of the towns in which it happens. So though this is a small site, half an acre in size, we need the permission from the city of Worcester and the town of Auburn. And a process for a conservation restriction usually starts at the Concom, who are familiar with things like the Open Space and Recreation Plan, because the Select Board usually likes to have the reassurance that people who focus on these things have had an opportunity to take a look at it. In this particular case, the conservation restriction will be held by the Quinsigamond Band of Nipmuc, which is a group of people made up of Nipmuc heritage. However, the conservation restriction, you'll note, says the East Quabbin Land Trust. And that is because the Quinsigamond Band of Nipmuc is currently a Chapter 180 charity in Massachusetts, and they've applied for 501c3 IRS status, and we are waiting for that status to come through before we give them the CR. East Quabbin Land Trust is an interim holder, and they will hang on to it until they have received their 501c3 status.
Okay.
Basically, the site is going to be left in its natural passive condition. We would be probably doing some vegetation control in terms of invasives over the course of time, which would mean we would come back here and talk to you folk. There'd probably be a path. It is not going to be a highly developed site. It is more having some educational displays and a passive place to be able to contemplate and know that historic events took place. The reason we're doing this is because everything in that neighborhood is being developed, and very soon everything will be underneath houses. So this is our one chance to be able to grab something before there is, in fact, no trace of the fact that this was the site of the village that we call Packagug that gave name to the hill.
Understood. Thank you for that very concise summary.
The conservation restriction, while it is a zillion pages long, is by and large a boilerplate that the state provides us with. The portions of it that we get to modify are the purposes clauses, which start on page 1 and extend for a bit, and then the permitted uses section, and those are the two places where we have sort of the greatest degree of being able to weigh in. Most of the conservation restriction language is set for us by the state.
Understood.
So if you wanted to boil it down to the parts that really we can even mess around with, it's the purposes clauses and the allowed activities. And the idea there is if there's ever a conflict about whether or not an activity should be allowed, we fall back to the purposes. And if it's in line with the purposes, that's good. And if it is not in line with the purposes, then it is prohibited.
Okay.
This also makes us eligible for state matching funds of $58,000 towards making this project work. No CR, no matching funds. This is the stipulation of the state grant. We're using the Conservation Partnership Grant from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Division of Conservation Services.
I'm impressed that you memorized that.
Wow.
I've been doing this a really long time.
Right?
Lengthy acronym.
EOEEADCS.
I have no questions. I think you,
I
like I
don't
said,
either, you covered it.
you summarized it very well.
In terms of the Auburn Open Space and Recreation Plan, I would say that it's Goal 3, protect valuable open space. And then I would also let you know that the Open Space and Recreation Plan in Section 3.2 says, in the 1600s, approximately 20 families of Nipmuc Indians lived on Packagug Hill. So it's even called out in the Open Space Plan as sort of a significant thing for the town. Just for your amusement, it turns out that not only was this one of the core areas for the Nipmuc families, but it also is a location which precipitates the creation of Worcester, and it is also a location that is significant in the King Philip's War, where even Metacomet himself was there soliciting the locals to join one side versus the other. So historic things happened on that hill at that site. It's not just it was a village, it's like a historic village and is well documented.
Interesting. Okay. Any questions?
I just have one.
Go
So
for it.
conservation, is there any chance that the Greater Worcester Land Trust would actually document this, put up signage and stuff like that in the future as
Yes.
far as for historical purposes? Because I think it's
So
fantastic.
we're partnering with the Quinsigamond Band of Nipmuc, and they're going to have the strong hand in precisely what the displays say. But the conservation restriction purposes actually goes through a timeline of historic events. That's the sort of stuff that we'd probably put up on the site.
Excellent.
Have there been any archaeological digs there?
Boy, I wish there were. It turns out that that site had been used as a farm, which is likely to have messed up everything. And then after it was a farm, it was a construction site for the houses, which likely messed up everything. And then they put in a detention pond in the drainage easement on part of the site, which likely messed up everything. So it is entirely possible that there's something out there, but it's not a great site for archaeology. That being said, there is an archaeological provision in there, and if we do find anything, we would be working with the state office who would oversee and permit whatever we were doing to make sure it was done up to reg.
Gotcha.
Sadly, though, this is a highly worked over corner of the universe.
Apparently. All right. If there are no questions, any questions from the audience? There being none, is there a motion?
Through the chair, just to clarify, I'd be looking for a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen if they accept the...
Understood.
Yep. I think we just sign it, right?
Nope.
No?
All you have to do is recommend to the select board. This would be a worthy project of support.
Cool.
And that is in keeping with the open space.
I'd
recreation
like
plan.
to make a motion to recommend this
And actually-
project to the select board.
It's probably a letter that I can send, right?
I think Megan's saying something.
Megan, are you saying something?
No, sorry, that was me. I made the motion, but I don't know if I jumped the gun or not.
Okay, well, that's fine. Do you want to make the motion?
Sure, yeah. I make the motion to recommend this project to the select board.
Okay, to approve the conservation restriction?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second
Definitely
that.
second that, yeah. Yes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
I vote Mike
Aye.
signed the letter.
Not a problem.
Be short and sweet.
It will be very short and sweet. Okay, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate
Thank you.
the history, too.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for your support. This is a worthy project, and we can't do it without you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, 10 Rotary Road. You've been very patient this evening, Mr. and Mrs. DeFutis. So as you know, we came out to visit you a couple weeks ago. We had actually asked you to restore the wall to the plan that was submitted and approved by our commission, and you hadn't done it. And so the dilemma we have now is whether, if we follow through on our letter, the next step would be to start finding you. The alternative would be to come up with some other solution. And so the question, and to, I think to Tom Fallon's point, removing a portion of that wall may actually cause more problems than leaving it in place. Having said that, what you built there is not what you submitted to us. And so there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and you did it the wrong way. I don't believe it was your intention to do it the wrong way, but again, what you built is not what was proposed to us, is not what we approved. And I've actually given this some thought. So one thought I would have is that you actually resubmit a notice of intent with us, with your engineered plan, which you have, and also providing an alternatives analysis that allows you to build within 25 foot of the brook there, or the pond. So, I mean, I think that's it's certainly a compromise from what I think we were thinking before. And that's just my thoughts. I don't know what the thoughts of the other members are, but that is one way I think we can resolve this. So, Tom, what do you think?
I think that's the easiest way to remedy this.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? About, because this was supposed to be a cart path. It looks like a boat ramp to me.
It is.
It is a boat ramp, right?
No, it's a cart path. If you guys remember the walk, you've seen the red cart that I used to go up and down with it. So it is a cart path.
Where are you going with it? In the lake?
No, it stops, as you can see the picture. I'm
Right.
driving right to the different levels, so I can get to the lake. Yeah, we drive that little cart right over to where the
Over the
dock is to the
rocks?
boat.
Okay.
Yeah, we go right over that.
Yeah.
The cart's a four-wheel, so I got instead of a golf cart, we ended up with a four-wheel drive, like an ATV with a steering wheel,
How much
side by
space
side.
is there in the grass between that and the lake?
It depends on where, but minimum is 10, 12, and maximum is like 20.
The reason that they have that 25-foot buffer is because the water must gush down there pretty good when it rains, right?
No, so
It doesn't.
it doesn't. So some of the reason for making it a little wider, if you look, so I got here, and
I
these are
live
just
on the lake,
pictures.
so I
Oh, you
see
do?
it,
Okay.
right, yeah,
So there was the existing conditions, right? That was before.
right.
There was the rendering that I made as best I could, showing the ramp with some, and here is the picture off the
Right.
lake. That actually helps the water that's coming down get off to the side faster than it does, so it doesn't rush down the lake, because it is a steep hill.
How far do the rocks go down? How many feet? The riprap?
Oh, the riprap goes down at least 4 or 5 feet right there.
It goes down 4
Oh,
or
yeah,
5 feet.
we made sure everything, and I can even get a video and submit it for whatever you
Okay.
guys want for the future. We've stood out there in the rain and watched. There is nothing making it anywhere past that first rock. The drainage there is awesome. They did, Little Diggers did all the work, and they did an unbelievable job. There's nothing making it past on that grass buffer down there. There's nothing.
Because I'm sure you
Absolute
know that,
zero.
yeah, we're having a problem with weeds on there.
Yeah, no, and
don't
trust me, I don't want weeds either. I want that clean too. So,
Right.
I don't want anything going down to the lake, and there's zero. You can come out there, and again, you guys are welcome on a rainstorm if you want to come
Right.
out with me on an umbrella and watch it. They did a really good job. So it's narrower, it's actually wider. I don't have a picture from the very top, but where you drive in is probably the narrowest spot up
Okay.
by the top. And then as it gets down to the hill, they did that so it would pitch to the side and not race straight down.
Okay, all right, that was my biggest concern, is that the runoff was gonna go directly into the lake.
No, I do have a pontoon boat. I am hoping to be able to it's once a year. I'll put it in
Okay.
and drag it out. And I don't even know if I'm probably just gonna drop the pontoon on the land right in front. I won't even bring it up the driveway, so I don't know if there'll even be a truck down there. That's meant for the four-wheel drive, the cart. I wanted a golf cart, but with the riprap and the dams
All right,
and the steepness, we wanted a four-wheel drive one. Actually,
that was my concern.
Okay. So, do you understand what we're asking you to do?
so do a new letter of intent.
Do notice of intent. We want an alternatives analysis because we have to give you a waiver because your lower wall is within 10 feet of, or about 10 feet from the lake.
Okay.
Right. And then if you do that, and, you know, you might want to have maybe someone do it for you, an engineer or someone like that, and submit that. We'll consider it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right?
You guys recommend any engineering company to go
We
to?
don't make
I don't know if you have
recommendations.
any work with Auburn or not. and,
There are a number of very reputable engineering firms. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find someone,
Okay.
especially that does this type of work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate your patience, Travis.
Yeah, no problem.
What's the story with 2 Commerce Drive?
So we provided the plan that shows the utility pole locations.
Okay.
That is based on National Grid's design.
Right.
At the time of permitting for the subdivision, it was unknown what that would be. If it was going to be underground, if it was going to be overhead.
Right.
It's always up to them. Not much the developer can do about it. So at this time, they have designed an overhead system, which is shown on the plans. They came out and put stakes in the ground. We survey located them. So that's where they intend to put them. What National Grid is looking for is some sort of documentation or approval to do this minor modification to allow overhead work. They won't finish their design and go ahead with this install until they have that. The planning board has already signed off on this as a minor modification.
Okay. So certain pole locations are within our jurisdiction,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it follows the general path that was shown on the electric line in the subdivision down the road. Again, just at that time, it was unknown whether it would be underground or overhead.
Okay. And is it a cost factor? I mean, I'm curious how the decision was made.
I'm not 100% sure why National Grid chose to do this route as opposed to underground.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that.
Interesting.
It's, yeah, probably less disturbance to do overhead, would be my guess. But I don't know
All right.
for sure.
And how many poles again are we talking about?
I believe it's 13 total. I don't know how many are in the buffer zone to that. A number of them are out front, outside of the buffer zone. But they're all within the
All of them in the
proposed.
buffer zone?
No, not all of
Oh.
them. There's a number of them that are outside of the buffer zones. At the beginning, at the entrance there, running down.
Do you know
Oh.
how many of them are in the buffer zone?
I don't. I mean, we could give you a general idea. 1, 2. You can go up a little bit, Caleb, please.
I gotta get better glasses.
I would say 6 or 7 would be within. They're all within the proposed roadway that was on the original plans. I
Right.
guess I would say that. Another thing is they need to cross the stream crossing too, which may have been a factor in where they can run that based on the other utilities.
Right.
A little bit easier to cross that overhead.
Certainly.
How much impact is it gonna be, do you think? Like, obviously the machinery, they're gonna use the drill,
Yeah, they drill, and as you've probably seen, when the poles are done, there's a
Yeah.
very little pile after the fact.
A lot of this in the underground.
There's no trenching and backfill and bedding materials, and machines sitting near the resource area for extended periods either,
So they can probably put all the poles in what, a matter of a couple days?
I would imagine.
Maybe even-
They put
yeah,
them in
makes-
pretty quick, yep.
makes sense,
And they come
okay.
back and run the wire.
So, just so I'm clear, what modification do you need from us?
Either a memo in the form of a memo or in meeting minutes that you voted to approve this as a minor modification for overhead wire. I know it's not typical of what's done, but they just need some sort of documentation that the Conservation Commission is okay.
And this is actually would be a letter in National Grid, right?
Yeah, or a letter in general that would be provided to them, or it could be addressed to them.
I mean, if you have, why don't we do this, assuming it's agreeable to the commission?
It is.
If-
To me, it
Speaking-
is.
speaking-
Speaking of that, if you're asking me personally,
Are you
yes,
throwing
it
stuff
is.
at
I
me?
mean, now I'm just with big things.
If you have the name of your contact in National Grid, we can do a letter. And
Okay.
what
Yeah.
that's assuming, so we won't put it to a vote, okay? Although I appreciate
Yes.
you're taking the lead on this.
Yes, I am.
So is there a motion to send a letter to National Grid? Actually, I shouldn't be making the motion, Tom. You're making the motion.
I make a motion, do we issue a letter to National Grid saying that we approve of them running overhead utility poles and related appurtenances, is that the phrase?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, well done. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. So if you can give me that name, I'll let them know.
Okay,
Terrific.
I appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for your time.
No worries. Thank you so much. Okay. So we have requests for certificates of compliance from Lundgren Honda. Now, they were supposed to do things. They were supposed to reestablish a rain garden and also clear some sand. I don't know if we have any confirmation they've done that. We could certainly take a look on Saturday. Mr. Mohammed, the pictures indicate that in fact, someone did actually go back out to his house and they actually did put a lawn in. So I think we can do a quick drive-by on Saturday and just confirm that he's got a lawn there now.
I could do like half of these, I think.
What's that?
I think I could do like half.
Okay.
To be in Rhode Island by 11.
Okay, well, don't worry, we'll take care of you. And then finally, for Jacob's Way, it's the same thing. Why don't we just take a quick look?
All right.
So,
We got a lot of things. So where are we meeting first?
we're gonna be meeting actually at 190 Washington Street.
All right. 190 Washington Street.
Although I think, yeah.
This is Megan. I will not be able to make it this weekend, so just give me a heads up.
Okay, thank you. Catherine, are you still on the Cape?
Yes, I am. I'll be back in Auburn around early to mid-September.
Okay, excellent.
Lovely. I might be able to come to the meeting via call-in.
Okay, if you can,
I might be able to do that.
you know,
We'll see
find
how
time in
my-
your busy schedule to join us, we'd appreciate it.
We'll see how my internet is on the boat, so we'll see where I'm at.
Okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Okay.
You know, maybe you can bounce signals off of the satellite or something. Is there any new business? There being none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Bye.
All right, it's a vote. All right, everyone, thank you very much, and we'll see some of you on Saturday.
My
All right,
20th
take
wedding
care.